It's the Coffee Pot Challenge. Hello and welcome to the Treasured Page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space. I'm just pulling out 3 items from the tin today to be able to have a look and see what we can make using 1 sheet of A4 paper, which is on the table here. I'm just having a look and seeing what we'll be using to embellish, and these are the prompts that are coming out today. Oh, I've got another wild card, ink effect and rubber stamp. Okay, so we're going to use those. That's nice and straightforward. So for the wild card, it may be a stencil, it may be stickers, it may be washi tape, I'll see. So we need rubber stamps and ink. That's fine. Okay, I've swapped out my paper because I think that this really does lend itself to a very dark coffee dyed paper. So if you've got such a thing, then this is perfect to use up something that maybe you don't want to put it in the journal because you think it's too dark or it's a bit too scruffy, but it is intact. Alright, for this craft you're going to need a pair of scissors, a stick glue, and you may prefer a precision glue, a liquid runny glue, a clear school glue in a precision nib bottle, or a spreader, that's fine. Not essential, but a nice to have is a bone folder, and you can get round it without, but if you've got a circle punch, that would be great. I'm using a 1-inch circle punch, and a ruler will be useful as well. That's just to make the basics, and then we will be using rubber stamps as part of the challenge, and we'll be using things to decorate the card with. I can't remember what it was. Oh, ink. We're going to want ink. Yeah, ink and stamps, black and brown, and a colour, maybe a blue, something a little bit interesting. And that's all we need to do to get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is fold some paper. The whole idea here came from something I saw last year on Corey Denman's video, where she did her flips, flaps and folds. So using an idea from Corey, I'm going to just have a go and see how we get on. Okay, so we're going to be making a little pocket booklet, something that could have been taken on one of these expeditions by the explorer, maybe to make notes or to have his travel tickets in, something that kept everything together, a nice little simple pocket tuck that could have gone into his breast pocket of his coat when he was travelling on the trains and things like that out in these far-flung places in China. So this is going to be a little record notebook, a very, very, very thin book that we will be able to add to the journal. So on my coffee paper, I've got the darker side there and I've got the lighter side there. I'm thinking that this is nice for the inside and this might be more fun for the outside. So I'm sort of looking what's going to be the front. If we were to fold it in half, which would be the front of my journal? Would it be that way? This would be the beginning, the opening page, or would it be that way? And I'm feeling that this is going to be fine for me, so this will be my front. Therefore, I'm going to fold up my bottom edge of the paper, and we're going to be folding up by 2.5 inches. Now, I'm working with an A4 sheet of paper. A4 sheet of paper, for those that don't know, is 11.5 inches by 8 and a quarter, just about. 29.5 centimetres by 21 centimetres. If you haven't got a pencil, put it on the 2.5 inch line. Make sure that the line is straight and just bend up and make a little and do that. Then you haven't got to find a pencil. 2.5 inches up, okay? And then you can put your ruler on the line and just fold it up from there. Right, so we want 2.5 inches going up nice and straight all the way across. It really doesn't need to be precise, but that's where we're going with that. If you've got a bone folder, great. If not, use the handle of your scissors and just run it along there like that. Don't worry if you haven't got the tools. Don't worry if you've got any tears in your paper, because you can always repair things like that. We're just going to fold it in half like a booklet. So line it up, check everything matches, that you're happy, and fold it in half. So now we've got this with 2 pockets and a nice little paper fold. So that's a nice idea for anybody. If you wanted to then do a collage, you could carry on and just do that and not do what I'm now going to suggest. What we're doing now is we're going to bring in this. This is going to ultimately be your front page, and we're bringing it in here, lining it up and folding it down. Got a rip there which we're just going to ignore. Okay, so that's your front. It might be easier for me if I just show you that and put that on there so we all know. So that's the front, that's the inside, and now we're going to work on the back. So what we do is we bend it back like that, and then we're going to bring this over in that way. So now you've ended up with the bit that you wanted on the back, and the bit you wanted on the front. And as long as you can get it all lining up, it doesn't have to be exact, because this is just going to be an idea for one of these scruffy explorers that they're going to be taking on these Himalayan mountains, just something to go in their pocket to keep all their information in check. So we've now got it like this and like this, and it looks like that. So it's a W. Alright, so we've created a W. Just to recap, so this was your sheet of paper. You bring it up by 2.5 inches. You fold it in half to just get that crease line. That's ultimately going to go to the back though. And then using that crease line, you bring in your front one there. You can bring in your back one there, like that. And then you can fold the whole lot behind itself. So you've got it like that. All right, hopefully that made sense. Right, open it back out, and then we're going to work on these pieces here. Okay. So now you're going to need your scissors. We're going to work here. You can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. The first line you come to, you're going to be cutting down that line, on the line, and right to the crease point there, and stopping there. So now you've freed it and it can flap up and down. Right. So using these measurements, if you've done the right thing, you're now going to cut away about 1 centimetre or a ½ inch. Just measure that for you. Okay, so I have cut probably a little bit too much. You need to have 1/4 inch or just 1 centimetre, maybe a slightly less of 1 centimetre. Now we're going to work on the front cover. So I'm just going to fold this up, and we're going to just put that away like that. So we're just dealing with the front cover here. So now we've got this free bit with this section here. It could be reversed. You could cut down on this side, and then that will be where your pocket will be on the other side. For this way, we're having the pocket on this side, and it's going to look like that. So it's a corner side tuck pocket. And then we've got this bit, which I just thought I could do something quite interesting with. So bear with me while we just get this glued down, and then the measurements, it doesn't matter if you're off, because you just fold it in a nice triangle, and then whatever overhangs is what you cut off. It's going to create a little corner tuck with a little lift up flap. Flip it up, stick it down, and then come over this way and just cut down that extra overhang, making sure you don't cut into the crease of the backing paper. Good. You can cut that away and be done with it, or we could just stick that down as well. We could fold this up here and then fold that up again and and be an extra something, like an extra tuck. In that way it would slot in there, so that's kind of cool. We might like that. So I'm just going to fold it down on itself and glue that there, and then just want to glue just the very edge of it. So this is a complete extra step. You may prefer a cleaner look and that bit's all just cut away. So now we've got this on our front. Yeah, so that would slot in nicely. That's not going anywhere. That's his ticket or his botanical garden pass that allows him to go and dig in a certain area. So just make sure you squash it down nice and firmly to keep it in place. If you've got your hole punch, what I think is quite nice is to just take a little corner chomp out of it. That creates a little finger divot so that it just signals that that is a lift up point. So that's the front. We've got to decorate everything. That's where we're at so far. Next page coming in, if we open it out, we've now got nothing going on the inside. We've got some sort of a pocket here. Then we come over and we've got this double pocket here, which is fine to leave as is. You don't need to do anything with it. And what you've created so far is quite fun. So that's the idea so far. But if we want to take it a little bit further, we open it all out. So we're just dealing with this flap here. And you've got two sections with three squares, but two joins. So what I'm suggesting we do is cut the join, but cut either side. So a similar, so maybe 1/4 of an inch going down, doesn't matter. I've gone wonky. Don't do that. Try and go straight. And then down there. And don't go past the fold line. So now we've got that. And then we're just going to cut there and cut there to free these pieces. Just up to your fold line. So this will now fold inwards. Like that. And it'll do it on the other side as well. If I can get the scissors in there. Actually, let's get that one out of the way. Then I can just fold, cut to the fold line and fold in. And then just take the corners off. That's always a good idea. And then you can do that on the top as well. So you've created these angled edges. And now that looks like that. So if you've got your circle punch, it's a good time now to put in a little dip, and we go not quite halfway, making sure you're happy either side, that is as central as possible, and just clip that bit out. Alright, so now we've got that, and we've got this. And now we can bring in some scraps and start having a look at this and thinking what might be good, what would look right on this this little booklet that we've got going here. So we've got nothing, no pocket there, and that could work out to be a very nice writing space. So maybe if you've got some lined paper, that could work very nicely there. It could be a little notepad that you put in. And then I'm just going to put that in to that crease line there and stick that down. Okay, so the scruffier the better. I'm going to pull in some more scraps. I've got a bit here that could be useful. Whatever you feel, however deep you want your pocket, just cut across the top. And I'm going to take off that much. I'm going to keep that bit to one side. And then also, if you would like, it's quite a nice idea to round the corner. So I'm just going to round the corner here. And that becomes a little ticket tuck, and this is a pocket. So I'm putting this one down here on page 3 just to stop it flapping about, and we know that that's going to become a pocket, so we can have that there. And then these little turned in pieces will give us a bit more room to put things in. So that goes down there like that. Alright, and then we've got that. Now behind this I want to do a double pocket, so I've got this piece of paper here, and I'll put it in around there. And I'm going to use that to make myself another pocket and cut that off where I want that at the top. So that's roughly what will go in there. Check that we're happy. Just gonna get it where we want it. Keep these pieces. Have a tidy up. Okay, so now I've got that, so that's going to go in there. Okay, and I'm going to put another little dip in there. It's very thin, but you want it thin because any extra bulk is just going to create a problem. Before you glue that down, you might want to ink. I'm quite happy with that. I think it's okay because it's dark enough as it is, but I'm going to use ground espresso. And on this one, I'm just going to give it a little worn inking, as well as my thumb here. That's actually quite a dark ink. Vintage photo will probably be fine. But this is super grunge because this is going to be something that goes in the pockets of these explorer men. So that's going in there. Tuck spot here. Okay, so that's how it's looking so far. Front cover. First page, tickets and tucks, and then folding that back you've got a pocket, and then this page I think what we're going to do is fold that up so we've got a clear page there. So that's the inside of this pocket, alright, and that has now come onto the back, and it could be a matching one or it could be something else. I just think we can corner around it and just have a nice large tuck spot on the back there. Want to do another decorative bit. You could take that off and turn it round if you like the grunge, but I think that's a nice little decorating spot there. So it's just up to you. So that is now my back cover, and then we'll just bend it in and then we have it. So far so good. We're not finished, but we've got the front, then we've got this, and then we've got this, and then we've got the back. Okay, but then it's all open here. So what we're going to do is glue the back together like that and create a pocket, a long pocket for a tag. So we want a circle divvied up here to match the one below, and then just ink around long pocket. We're just going to glue everything shut here. So you open it out at the back and take your glue and go all the way around on the 3 sides. So down there, down here, and along the bottom. You don't need to ink on this crease here because you won't see it. And you don't want to ink at the top here because you won't be able to get your tickets or tags in. All right, so now we can glue this shut. Now we've got the pocket at the top there. It's all a bit delicate, so we'll have to be careful, but that is a place to now put a tag, a long thin tag, so that will strengthen it up as well if you do that. And then he can go about searching for what he's looking for. Okay, this is a good time to pull out some scraps that you may have just trimmed off from another journal or another project, and have a look at what you want to add in here. So I'm going to have a selection of strips, and I'm going to, I think what I'll do is just line them all up there, just get them how you want it. It's really for an artistic look more than any kind of practicality reasons, but it is a tearing note paper that he could use and make a few quick sums or calculations or coordinates when he's doing his travel. It's just simply, you know, all he'd have is a pencil in one pocket, this in another, and he could make a few little notes, and that would be great, and help him on his way to work out where he's got to get his travel and his train from, and you know, all that sort of thing back in the day. And then these perhaps are notes that then get sent back with the sample that Arthur and his wife can then decipher and work out what he's actually sent them. So I'm happy with that. I'm just going to put a couple of staples in there. I'm not worrying what it's looking like at this point. So I haven't got anything loose, and that's quite cool. And then what I'm going to do is take my ruler, take the ruler and come back down here. Doesn't have to be a tearing ruler, straight edge will be fine. I just want that to not overhang, so I'm going to just tear that off there. So we've got that bit there. Next one needs to come in a bit higher than the last one and carry on like that in a stepping sort of a way. So we've got that, and then I can come right up here with that one then. That's quite fun, the fact that it's not conforming. And then this one can come there like that. So that is the start of our little tear sheet. Okay, then just take another scrap. I've just got a bit of old packaging paper here, and I'm going to just see how wide that is. Using the straight edge, I'm just going to match it up. Ooh. Okay. A good ½ inch, so you're looking for an inch. I'm going to just tear that off about the width of the ruler if you've got one of these sized rulers. Fold your scrap piece in. It's quite nice with the dark brown, particularly a parcel packaging piece. And don't forget the top. Right, so we're covering over the paper. I'm just going to put an extra bit of glue around the staples. And I'm going to use my ruler here. I really want to squash those staples down. We don't need them poking out. So that's now squashed. And they're fine, you can't see. And then just neaten up the edge. Okay, so then you just want to now start embellishing and seeing what you can do to really fit this into a nice theme of what you might be doing. If you're following along with me and you're looking at the Great Plant Hunters, then this might be an idea here where we just add a little label up there, one that we've made before, and for that you're just going to want a simple corner rounder and just round off those corners there. Let's see how long we want this. I think that's going to be great. So this is perfect if you're doing anything from the Victorian age, anything where they're, you know, it could be like the miners in in certain places where they had little booklets. Maybe they had to record certain detail when they were going down the mines or somewhere, or tin mines in Cornwall. Something a little bit sort of workman-ish, where you've got these guys going out to some really sort of Wild West places or somewhere. Okay, so we've got that. So we've got that now, and then we can have a look. Maybe you want to have a look at some stickers or something, if you've got anything like that, or a picture, or you could put some book page in there, and you could sort of think, well, what might they have done or looked at? I've put that in there as an idea, but that could come. I could take that off now. I think we get the idea, so that can go in there. That's quite nice, that little little idea there. Right, so that's where you can have your tag, your ticket. You've got to decorate that bit, and then you've got the flip up for writing or note space, or this could be something to do with the library. It could be where library tickets and things are put and recorded. It could be something very official, some place to keep stamps, and to certainly have record keeping of something or other. Then we can get on to the fun stuff, which is to decorate it. So this is how it's looking. We could put a ticket or a bookmark in there. So I've got one that I'm sort of working on. I haven't really done that, but let's just put that in there for now. We can put a tab top on there as well. Then on the front here, I mean, there's quite a lot to decorate really, so it's lovely to just sit down and have a go. But I think how I would tackle it, just very quickly to give you an idea, is I'd bring out my ephemera holders and my stickers and anything like that, and I'd look at my stamps, and I would probably start thinking about how I would like that to look. I've got a scripty sort of stamp. Put a label or something underneath. So this is part of the challenge, using the stamps. So I'm just going to put that there. That looks sort of quite Victorian. I think we'll have a stamp there, or a label or something that maybe I've got in here. We could make another one with words that we actually want to have on there, and then perhaps start to think about how that could look. Okay, I'm going to have I've been filling this with bits and pieces as well, stickers and things that I think fit this journal. So it depends what sort of vibe. You could put your clusters on that bit, if you've made a little cluster with me. These sort of things can pop in here. Just fill the ephemera, a little ephemera holder really, that's nice. Or stick it down. And then over here, maybe he's been reading books about beekeeping while in his downtime. Think about schedules and timings. That's quite nice. So we could put that in there. Or we might want a number up there. So I think we made that with another coffee pot challenge. We've got a number there. Let's maybe put this down. Let's strengthen up the edge. So that's good, that's that. So yeah, we could be looking at that. So that's the back. We want something across there. I might have to use my word stamp. Got another washi tape sticker here. If I put that up there, that's going to repair the top bit, which I'm quite pleased about. Let's pull this all together to make it worthy of our journals. I've got my stamp here. I'm just going to put some wording up here. Hopefully I can get it in the centre. It's wonky, but that's great. So I'm using ground espresso, which is an archive link from the Distress range. It's really, really lovely dark grunge colour, like a nearly black sort of a colour. That kind of looks okay. I want it to tie in. I want it to look nice in a journal as well. I don't just want it to be as if it's come out of the pocket of one of these guys. That's lovely, but also perhaps it got sent home and then Harriet was able to add her little touches to it before she put it into her diary or her journal to log the finds coming from all these amazing places. So we know that Harriet was an absolute lover of plants, and that would have been a great source of intrigue for her to start seeing samples, specimens and all this sort of business coming back from these far-flung places. She would have very much enjoyed to have watched the seeds grow and see what these first flowers would give, what delights and what colours. So that's another thing. She might have liked watercolour and painting. I know that they commissioned artists to paint some of these beautiful blooms so that they could then put them on their seed packets and have some marketing for it. So that's nice, isn't it? So I've just cut out some of these Tracy labels from the digital kit, the exhibition, but I've got this idea now that he's got some labels there that have already been pre-written for him, so that when he gets the samples, all he's got to do is just gum the labels onto the packet or the parcel. Or they had little camera cases, little tins, and they used to put the seeds into some paper bags. We might need to look at making some of those. And then I thought, you know, that sort of thing could go on there. Duck there, which could have definitely got some Eastern wording or lettering on there. So that's, at least that's coming from the right continent. So we'll put that on there. And I like the duck, which looks to me like a mandarin duck. So that's probably, we're in the right zone. Just to give this some focus, I'm just popping that up there. Using the brown archival ink, which is ground espresso. That's very nice. So we could write the date in there and maybe something else down here as well, perhaps echo what was on the front. Perhaps this is something that the Horticultural Society produced for the explorers to take out with them, and then they filled it with the little bits and tickets and things for them. That was sort of like a pack, and then this is the thing that they gave back to the collector with all the information and tickets and ephemera pieces from the travels, and that would have been a bit of intrigue. I mean, if I'd been running the society, I definitely would have organised this for them. I think it's a really good idea. I'm going to just do this card, so I think we could have these black and white images because they look like something that an illustrator would have sketched of the time. We'll put that up there as well, maybe one of these on here, and no, maybe that one goes in there. And then, you know, these are just the packs that they were produced. Yeah, I'm just going to put this fern down there because that just fits the theme as well. Yeah, and then the collectors can also see certain things, certain intrigue papers and special certificates that would from official places that meant that they had been authorised to search around in those areas. So I think that that sort of thing came in later on. I mean, it was dangerous business bringing botanical things out of the country and into another country from the point of view that you are then bringing a new plant into your own ecosystem and expecting it to do great things. Well, they didn't always realise that actually that has detrimental effect. Taking something from a soil in China and then putting it into a very fertile soil elsewhere is going to result in plants growing out of control and then affecting other plants or killing off other plants, introducing certain bacteria and things that we can't bounce back from, which is why places like Australia, certainly New Zealand, wised up to that sort of nonsense very quickly and put a stop to it. So you cannot take flora and fauna from there. You can't bring it in. It will affect their very delicate ecosystem, particularly because some of the, you know, it's all been there for zillions of years, and we start introducing something that we've cultivated. There's just a whole science to it now, isn't there? And it's just not possible. So this sort of plant collecting would not be possible now, only if done under very, very strict scientific control by the correct people who know what they were doing. But actually Arthur Bully was one of these people. He had all the credentials and was highly respected botanist and scientist and studier of plants. So they didn't mind it because they knew he was testing things and not introducing anything that was a problem. He did want to put alpine plants on the mountains of Wales, Snowdonia, but the Horticultural Society stopped that because they were worried about what some of these plants from different countries might do to the native plants. Cross-pollination and all of that. It was a worry. As beautiful as all that would have been, I think they were right to say that because we just don't know. And we have got plants now that have been brought back that are a menace in our everyday living, such as the sycamore tree. That came from China. And it grows like a weed everywhere now. There we go. I think that's really fun. So that's sort of beautiful, but also tells a story. The pioneering plant hunters took something like this and brought it back, and then it was decorated up afterwards and added as a collectible piece. But certainly something that you could have shown off at a day out to the botanical gardens in Ness on the Wirral. So that could have been something that they found. Okay, let's have a quick flip through. I've got, one is more full than the other, so it's just a nice idea that you can see how you could do that. The flips are on the opposite side, so you could do that by, instead of cutting on this side originally, you would cut on the other side, and that would just give you the flip on a different side. So you can see there, one's got a botanical stamp and the other hasn't, so that's just another option of how to do it. So it's really sweet. And then we've got a little pocket here and the same there. This one's housing a, well, I'm calling it a postcard, but it's a bookmark really, and I've got some writing space on the back there and the botanical image for both of them. So that's what they look like without the ephemera in them. This was a stencil, and I've just added a little bit of sewing trim that I had. Everything is junky apart from the stickers and the washi tape. And then we've just got the little word there just to add it, but that was our labels that we made. So then opening out, so if we add that back in, opening this one out and this one, you can see how they've been done in a different way. I've added a quote there, which was nice. And in the back here, I don't think I've got, oh, in the back here, I've just added writing paper, you know, note paper. So that's another idea. It doesn't always have to be a ticket or a tag, and the tag does add bulk if it's a cardboard one or a thick one. This is quite thick, so this could be a folded up map. The explorers would probably have had their maps or something in there. These are all journaling cards as well, so they could be written on. We go over with this one, and then the same here. And again, it's a different look, but it's the same idea. So we've got the tear sheet note papers. There's a few more on this one. You can flip the whole lot up and you can still write on the back. Same here. This is a sticker, which is also relating to seeds, I think, another catalogue, because they had lots of seed catalogues. It just wasn't the exotics. It was more to do with wildflowers and obviously growing your own food. And on the back here, little collage of scrap papers and a stamp. I think that's really effective. I love that. It's fun to do. Nothing in there at the moment. And then this one is very similar. So that was just some washi tape. Very quick, very simple idea. Both got a number on there, and both really interactive and fun. A lovely thing to add to the journal, and a great way to tell a story in your own theme, because that could be anything, and you could make those really nice. You could make that paper really nice to begin with, and then use those folds and flaps and extra elements and all the different ephemeras. It's great for a happy mail, and just a really lovely low-cost thing to do, just one sheet of paper and all your little things. My next video will be coming out shortly, and you can catch up and see how we're going to add more things to the French linen botanical journal. If you'd like to follow along and see how that's been made, you can follow this on the link below, and also in the playlist for the French linen journal, and you can see how this is made. So even that might be nice at the front. It's quite bulky, so that's sort of something that can definitely be accommodated with a belly band at the front, like a really fun find. Yeah, so there we go, lots of ideas, and I hope that that's been good for you. All right, thank you very much for joining me, and above everything else, guys, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye-bye now.